Thank you so much. Literally, I am just overwhelmed every time I'm invited to such an event such as this, to distinguished leaders of this mighty organization. I am so proud of you for taking the time to recognize these wonderful individuals that I am a part of as far as this class of 2023. There's so many individuals that helped me along the way, and I must start with the virtual hugs turned into physical hugs, Janet and Norma. They're in the room somewhere, but I thank you for taking the time to make sure we knew step by step what to prepare for. My wonderful family, you wonder who that good-looking family is out here? That's my family. That's my family. All the organizations I belong to, they're in the book. I see you here, and I'm just so proud of you. And I would just like to take the opportunity to have you stand, because I'm going to celebrate you today along with me. Some way, somehow, you're affiliated with the organization, the mission, changes that have gone forward. You're that change agent that partnered up with me. Maybe you didn't know how we were going to create it, but we did. So I would like for you to stand at this time. I want to recognize you, everyone I'm affiliated with. Please stand. Thank you. Also, I would like to say, Quinny just did a snippet of what she means to me. I'm going to take the time to tell you about those life swim lanes. You have swim lanes in life, right? And so the first one, she told you she was my cheerleading coach. She left out a very important word. That was mentor. That mentorship led me to be the captain of the cheerleaders my senior year, leadership in student council, PTA scholarship recipient, honor roll. Go to the next swim lane. Professionally, peers need peers in the workplace. I shared some things over 20 years at Goodyear. After I decided to take my talents elsewhere, I could rely on her to share some stories. Some good, some bad. It should be fully transparent, such as life. Next swim lane, we're neighbors. We reside in the best township in this state, Copley Township. Our kids, Copley schools, K through 12. First thing I said to our son, you remember my son, Carrington? Sure do. Our kids, that's another swim lane, K through 12. Then let's go to the next swim lane of life, soror. That means sister. That's a deep word right there. And she told you that she was my coach, mentored her, and now the roles are reversed. Today, unbeknownst to us, we didn't know. That's called full circle. And I'm so appreciative of individuals such as a Quinny Lane. Beautiful spirit. Beautiful spirit. And then I would like to move on. The people ask all the time, all these things listed in this bio, there's no way there's that much time. Yes, there is. You have to manage that time. It's a heart condition. It's a decision. And it's called a heart condition. Now they say, Towanda, where did all this begin? I can lean on my ancestors. We stand on somebody's shoulders. I can lean on my grandmothers. I can lean on my family that's here today. We're givers. That's what we do. But I'm going to take it back to, I think, when I really tapped into servanthood. 1,715,000 miles from here, 1715, in Honduras. That's when I tapped into servanthood. Young girl, thought I had it all worked out. I'm gonna serve. I'm gonna buy a house at 25. I'm not gonna have student loans. and I'm buy the second house at 30. I did all that. Unbeknownst to me, in between that servanthood in Honduras is when I became a woman. When I drink water, I think of Hondurans. When you go somewhere like that and you see water and river as the source, and you see them take a bath in the morning just like we do, but it's in the river for everybody to see. Wash clothes, bathe their children, have their children in that river. Put the basket, the resiliency of the woman, being able to put the basket or wicker, whatever it's called, on her head and carry it forth. That's called resiliency. And I watched them because I was in military police. I'd go in any village I wanted to. We did the route recons. So you have the driver, you have a person on the side, you have the gunner at the top, you have the person in the back you're escorting. But for me to watch that did something to me. And I drink clean water every day before I got here. And so what I did in servanthood, we were earning 7 lempiras to $1. And I want you to take your check tomorrow, times it by 7. And I said, you know what, I could do something with this money to help them. I didn't know the language well. Back then you had books. You couldn't speak into a phone and translate. So for me to have them trust me, I'm just here to help you, trust me, you're scared. Change the way they perceive the service individuals down there, men and women. Let me change this. I use those 7 lempiras to the American dollar, get paid 7-fold, start getting those kids to trust me. Clean water, Mexican cola, look it up, they love it. Chocolate. You can have my MRE. The veterans in the room, I so respect you for the work that you do and done, and that allowed me to bring back. I can do something with these homeless veterans when I get home. I changed the culture down there and didn't know the language. Surely I can come back home, help start the Goodyear Veterans BRG, transferred those talents to Signet, started the Veterans BRG there. Took us 5 years. Everyone else wants to have the donations and Veterans Day. Typical, that's fine, right? May, Military Month. I don't do what other people do. Dr. Angela spoke about that. I see an issue different from the way you see an issue. We're gonna have our donations in July because it's warm outside. People are more excited and vibrant. They'll come. If I ask them to come and it's just a drop off, they'll come. Took us 5 years. We're the #1 essential donation drive for homeless veterans in this city. Thank you. The other organization that I want to speak to, our committee, that allowed me to continue this servanthood, created a lot of grassroots. It's in the book. But what the community has supported me with best in the individuals, such as Executive Shapiro, her staff, Andrew, Greta, United Way, is the Sojourner Truth Project. And I understand when I talk to you with these presentations that you are part of that team from the 80s or the 90s. It sat abandoned around 2000. Thank goodness for Faye Hirsch Dambrot, Women's History Project of the University of Akron. When she passed, they thought the project was over. It sat abandoned for 20 years. This project is 40 years old. And I hear you when I go out and present. Now, which group are you with? Oh, I'm with the Sojourner Truth Committee that's going to get it done. But I stand on the shoulders of those individuals who were around when we put the placard on the building, when you changed the building to Sojourner Truth. I'm going to tell you about these change agents on this committee. They are nothing but north of remarkable. Volunteers, tirelessly. We've been at this for 5 years after the project sat for 20 years. It's time. And you should be so honored that we will own the largest public art display for this iconic abolitionist, suffragist, whose words from May 29th, 1851 rang true in 2023. We're still trying to get that women's rights together. That's why you have events such as this. The words she spoke, may I say a few words, rang true today. And because of these individuals, and if you're here on the committee, why don't you stand? I want to acknowledge you tonight. Thank you. You're attached to the project. Stand. Sojourner Truth was able to articulate between the intersectional relationships that didn't exist: race, class, gender, voting rights, equity, as we know today. And she didn't speak for herself. She knew as she traveled, she wouldn't see it come to fruition. She knew. Risk her life to get up, may I say a few words, as she traveled. And for us to own this display where the world is coming into Akron to see it. Tomorrow morning, I have to meet with the Smithsonian Institute at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. The world is watching our community. You should be so proud. You should be so proud that May 29th, 2024, we're going to celebrate in this city the unveiling of this woman who spoke those words here on Akron soil. And we're going to continue with education and awareness. The kids can't know the story if the adults don't know the story. And it's okay, that's why you have our committee. So I celebrate with you tonight and thank you every time you invite me out to a presentation. You're so welcoming. I am so grateful to be amongst the individuals in this room. The calls keep coming, the emails keep coming. And I thank my family for allowing me to be who I am and do what I do. Because they say the average person just doesn't get to do all of this in a lifetime. I'm very fortunate and blessed because I do feel like I have more to do. We have some student scholars here from the University of Akron that I'm their primary advisor. I couldn't be more proud of our emerging leaders. They're here, they're paying attention, and they're going to continue to do the great work as well. I thank you all greatly, and let's continue to get into some good trouble.